Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another Destiny video. Now in this video I'm jumping back into Crota's End raid, and I'm going to give you a walkthrough for one of the particular sections in the raid, one of these sections that was sort of slightly earlier on, but I have been on Reddit and been on Twitter today and I've seen that quite a few people have been getting stuck on this section, so I figured it's only right, seeing as I've passed it, that I kind of pass that knowledge on to you and try and sort of like help you guys get past this section. So there is an area right after the first thing you'll do, you drop into the raid, you work your way through the darkness, and when you get through the darkness, you go through this kind of light, and you'll end up here. This is the section, and your objective is to cross the bridge. Now, may sound simple, but this is quite difficult. Took us sort of hour and a half, couple of hours, something like that, to sort of get past it, but we finally sort of worked out a tactic, worked out a way to make it work, and this is what I want to pass on to you guys. So, firstly, allow me to explain the concept. Now, if you've jumped into Crota's End raid, you'll be familiar with the platforms that you stand on that summon bridges. This one, however, is slightly different. In the middle of this area, in this courtyard you're in, there is a circle, or kind of a pad for you to stand on, and when you stand on it, it will summon the bridge in the middle. However, there are two totem poles to the left and to the right. When you stand in that middle circle, those totem poles will activate, and they'll start to kind of turn on in that respect. If you don't stand at the base of either one of those totem poles, then they will go red. If they go fully red, then they will kill your entire team, just sort of like completely wipe them. So what you need to do is you need to divide your team. 2 people in the middle, 2 people on the left, 2 people on the right. By having them stand on each of the pads, then you can summon the bridge without your entire team wiping. Now that sounds simple enough. Obviously while doing that you need to defend waves of enemies, but there's a catch. See, if you look at the bridge, there are flames coming off of it, and if you walk on the bridge, it will kill you, unless that is you carry a sword. So, during this time, there will also be a sword bearer who will come down the stairs. He's a pretty tough guy, so do not take him lightly. You do want to prioritise him as a team, so do work together to take him down, but when you kill him, he will drop a sword. Now, if one of your members of the team picks up a sword, they can then walk across the bridge. Now, this is where it gets interesting. You're going to need to do this one by one, because obviously you can't pass the sword on, and once you kind of hold it for long enough, the sword will disappear. But when you get to the other side, it's not as simple as waiting on the other side, letting another sword bearer spawn, and then getting another sword. Because when you get on the other side, for every person that crosses the bridge, another gatekeeper will spawn. However, the gatekeepers on the other side are not like the sword bearers that you fought before. These ones are blue, and they are immune to all of your bullets. The only way you can kill them is with a sword. Now, do bear in mind that from the moment you pick up the sword, you are running on a timer. You cannot use it for too long, so what you need to do is you need to make sure that when you kill the sword bearer, and the sword is dropped, that bridge needs to be up. One of your team members needs to grab the sword, run straight across the bridge, and then kill the other gatekeeper on the other side. If you do not kill him, you're in for a world of pain. So, the best way to do this is just to use the right trigger attack. There are attacks with the sword on both right bumper and right trigger, and there's obviously your super, but the easiest way to do this is to run up to the gatekeeper and just keep spamming right trigger. You'll stun him every single time, and you will kill him before the sword disappears. So, if you've done this correctly, you've now got 5 people on one side, 1 person on the other side. That one person does need to kind of keep running around because enemies will spawn and you will need to sort of take them out, but they are for the most part, at least early on, in slightly lower numbers, so they are quite manageable. So again, you repeat the process. Back on the other side, you wait for another sword bearer, you kill him, you take your sword, and you send the next person over. Now do bear in mind, when you divide your team, you need to do this sensibly. At all times, when you're standing on that middle plate that holds the bridge up, you do need to have someone on the left and the right totem pole. So when you do start siphoning people off to send them to the other side, you need to make sure you do it evenly from each platform. So, fast forward a little bit and you get to a point where you've got 3 guys on one side, 3 guys on the other side. Now the guys on the other side have got a mirror set up to what you've got. They have a platform which 2 can hold the bridge, and they have a totem pole on the left and the right. Now bear in mind, the longer you're over on the other side and the more people you send over, the bigger the waves of enemies that come and the more you have to deal with. Eventually you will have to deal with sort of like a mini boss, like a slightly stronger ogre, and that will mark the end of the section. But for the time being, you'll go from dealing with simple acolytes and thrall to dealing with wizards and knights, as well as the gatekeepers and things like that. So you do need to bear in mind. So the easiest way to do this, and the way that we did this, was when you get to the point where you've got 3 guys on the other side and 3 guys on the beginning side, you now need to switch roles. At this point, the guys on the further side, the ones that have crossed the bridge already, now need to take on the role of holding the platforms. You have 1 guy in the middle, 1 on the left totem, 1 on the right totem. And the guys back at the beginning now just need to stay alive and focus on taking down the sword bearer, grabbing that sword, and one by one crossing that bridge. Now as I said, the longer you are on the other side, the more you're going to have to deal with, so they are going to have to fight off against knights, wizards, acolytes, thrall, and eventually an ogre, so you are going to need to back each other up. If you're on the first side, then the easiest thing you can do is go back up the stairs and stand on the top of the balcony, because for the most part, the enemies don't venture that far up. The thrall might occasionally run up and get brave, but for the most part, they will stay down below. So when you're up there, if the guys on the further side, the ones that have already crossed the bridge, are having trouble, you can snipe across. Use your icebreakers, do your damage, but back them up. Then the same applies, if it's cooled down over where they are, then they can help you take out a sword bearer. But one by one, on the first side, you need to start taking down the sword bearers and working your way across the bridge. When you get to a point where there is one guy left on the other side and 5 people have crossed the bridge, it will get slightly harder for that one guy to solo the sword bearer, so you might have to have the guys from the other side snipe across and give them some backup. But again, repeat this process, stay alive, stay up high, avoid the enemies, and then you will be fine. Get them all across the bridge, complete the waves, fight the ogre, fight the wizards, fight the knights. Once you've killed all of them, you will have this section complete. And that is it. Now this section does take a while, it is tricky, but the main thing is it's quite easy to regain control. Some sections, if you mess up, you tend to find that it often goes into a wipe, whereas these sections, if anything goes wrong, just get off the middle platform because then those totems are no longer active, and you can then run around, stay alive, revive your team, and carry on going. So while frustrating, it is a lot easier to manage the section if it goes wrong. The most important thing, and I cannot stress this enough, the people that cross the bridge have to kill that gatekeeper. If they do not kill him, he will cause you trouble. So bear that in mind, and the only other thing I can say really is good luck. So hopefully you found this helpful, and as always, if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, hit the like button and show your support. It does really help me out, and also don't forget to subscribe for daily gaming videos. Drop a comment down below and let me know how far you are through the raid, and if you found this section helpful, then definitely let me know. But otherwise, if there's something else you want to see, then also let me know. Thanks again for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.